Join us on the journey this week as we squeeze just a bit more out of our Wisconsin stay, but not without an attack attempt by a goose. And a very clear attack by a bird. Oh. This is a last day miracle. We experienced the Northern Lights for the first and second time in our lives. Then we hit the road to cover over 560 miles with a quick stop near Fergus Falls, Minnesota. The end to our trip took a negative turn and we had a little bit of a decision to make.
When you start the trip agitated because you checked into a place that isn't going to be a good place, it kind of sets a bad tone for the week. Not that I can't get over it or that I haven't or that I wouldn't, but I'm pretty irritated. So unless she tells me something really convincing, we're going to KOA.
Well, the day didn't quite end like we expected. But first, a little treat for Cody.
Angela came down here the other day into La Crosse to get our truck serviced over at Dahl Ford, and she found something interesting there that she waited on me to take advantage of. I'm gonna bring you guys along to check this out. The Dahl Ford Museum here in La Crosse is pretty awesome. It's not a huge place, but it's got all the right stuff. You've got everything from old Model A's, old Cadillacs and Fairlanes to the Ford GT, some really awesome Mustangs, some cool old trucks. It's neat because they do this great job of giving you all this information about what it costs. Some of them still even have the window stickers laying on the dash. It's owned by the Dahl family, D-A-H-L, that owns the Ford dealership here in town, so it's a private collection. It's $5 a person to get in and totally worth it. We spent about an hour here. John was our tour guide and gave us a lot of information and was just really fun to talk to and hang out with for a minute there. But we did find out that if you're in for any kind of service work on your vehicle, you get into the museum for free. I'm still glad Angela didn't do it without me earlier this week. Nice little whistle stop on lunch hour. Now I gotta get back to work.
We've been trying to do this bike ride for days. And there is some rain coming in, as you can see, dark clouds. But they're like this, and they don't look like they're gonna last long, so we're gonna try it.
We're close enough to Sparta, Wisconsin, which is the bicycling capital of America, I believe is what the sign says. So I thought, why not get the bikes out, take a little ride since it's our last night here. So hopefully this works out great.
I just felt the sprinkle.
Look how cool I look.
You do look cool.
You always look cool when you got safety in mind.
La Crosse has a lot of really neat trails. We were on the state trail, I believe, and it's several miles long. It's like 21 or 23 miles long. But there are a lot of small trails in between. So we're gonna do a short one, a short loop, check the weather, and then if we're feeling good and the weather's good, we're gonna go back the other way. So that's the plan.
I hope the weather holds up and we can go a little farther, but let's go. I've been waiting on this all day. These trails are pretty good, pretty smooth for the most part, very little obstacles. We far from have off-road tires on our electric bikes, but they're handling it pretty good, and my chain's holding on, so that's a plus. Oh, I felt that one.
Oh, this is creepy. That was creepy.
That was creepy. Kickstand, babe. Whoops. Every time we ride. And we can like stop and take a picture. She'll take off with the kickstand down. I don't get it. I've never seen anybody do that repetitively. You need a little thing like a seatbelt alarm, a little red light that says kickstand down.
Uh-oh.
It's either the truck. I mean, I'm used to getting it on the truck, but the bikes too? I didn't know they had trees like this in Wisconsin. So
It's huge.
So here's both of us. That's crazy.
I didn't notice this the first time we passed it.
So this is a great trail. It's got, I mean, I think All Trails calls it moderate. I didn't think it was that tough. There were a few kind of challenging places, and we have street tires on our bike, so we kind of have to be careful braking hard downhill, but
it has a lot of variety. You get marshland and woods and a wildlife overlook.
And we didn't even think we were going to do this. We thought we were going to get rained out. We tempted the weather. We got a little bit wet.
We did, a little bit.
But it all worked out fine, and here we are.
The worst thing we had to deal with was the wrath of some mama and daddy geese. But that all worked out. They got their babies out in the water, but they were ready to attack me for sure. Go in the water. Please don't attack me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I won't hurt your babies.
If you have a chance, if you have bikes, get out and do some of these nature trails. They're pretty awesome, and depending on how much you want to stop and go, you can get through them pretty quick.
They have hiking and biking. You do have to have a permit to bike, rollerblade, basically anything with wheels. You have to have a permit.
What are they, like $5?
For the daily, I think if you're going to do a week's worth, it might be worth getting the annual.
So we're going to finish up this bike ride, head home, pack some stuff up, because tomorrow is travel day and we got a 2-day run to North Dakota.
This is a last day miracle. Oh yeah. Still illegal to steal these things, right? Cody! It's time to hook up for travel day number 1. We met some incredibly nice people here at the campground. This was an enjoyable one. But we are ready to hit the road. You're dead on. Nice work. Cody's gonna back us up a little bit to get a straighter angle. We've got all the room in the world to pull out. I think this is gonna be easy. And he wanted an opportunity to check those brakes just one more time. If you didn't see the video where we adjusted the brakes, I'll pop that thumbnail right here. You're wide open. Whispering Pines was a little spendy.
How much was it again? I forgot already.
About $80 a night.
Ooh.
We really try to stay in that average of 30 to 40. It's getting harder and harder to do, but we do. It helps with our mooch docking. It kind of helps average a lot of that out.
I looked the other day, and so far this year, our average is running about $44 a day.
Ooh.
Well, we stayed at some expensive places, and
We have. And we don't mind spending those bigger prices from time to time. As
yeah,
long
you
as
just
you feel
balance
like
it out.
Yeah, as long as you feel like you're getting what you're paid for.
And here we did. This was a really nice park. They had all the amenities. They, in my opinion, they checked the boxes of a resort. And a lot of RV resorts, I feel, aren't really resorts. But this one was. Great place.
I can at least say that the bread I brought was not moldy.
Thankfully.
They are much smaller than I anticipated for sandwiches. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be your Leonardo DiCaprio.
Look at me. I'm the king of England. I know we've been on the road all of like 15 minutes, but I love crossing into Minnesota on Interstate 90 through La Crosse. I know we've said it already, but we always enjoyed this part of our drive and we used to make it a lot, but we've done a lot of stuff in Minnesota. We used to live here for a while. It's a beautiful state. The winters are pretty tough if you don't like cold weather, and we don't, but
people are nice.
Don't discount Minnesota. Minnesota's awesome. Definitely come see it in the spring and summer because it's breathtakingly beautiful in most parts.
It really is. Here's your little baby sandwich.
Yay! Like, don't eat me, don't eat me.
Here's one swamp. I found some questions to beat boredom on travel day. We're gonna try some. Cody, would you rather sleep with no pillow or no blankets?
No pillow, 100%.
If you had a time machine, would you go forward or backwards?
And I wouldn't want to go back to like dirt roads and no air conditioning, but I don't necessarily want to go forward to like flying cars and stuff. So I'd probably bounce back and forth. If you have a time machine, it'll go both ways, right?
How about a good music era?
Ooh, 70s, 60s, 70s. Can't go wrong. So here's a good question that just came to my attention on Facebook today. Angela, would you rather take a walk in the woods with a strange man or a grizzly bear that might tear your face off and kill you?
That's a stupid question. Moving on.
It's a stupid question.
Top 2 gifts that you've ever received. I would say the 2 that come to mind are, 1, a cheap little music box that my mom found at a yard sale for a couple dollars when I was pregnant with Isaac, and I was very young and very scared. And I would put the music box on my stomach and he would kick it, and it was just, I have it stuffed away somewhere in a storage building, but it was a special little music box. And most recently, our friend Jay bought us a photo from Buck Taylor. He painted it and then he signed it for us, and he put a note in there that was special and specific for us to remind us of a special time between our friendship. So it has a lot of meanings for us. The only problem is it's huge, and we want to hang it in the camper, but we're trying to find a good way to hang it up where it's not going to fall and mount it.
It's in a very nice frame. It's heavy.
We're so scared we're going to break it.
I'm so worried we're going to break it.
We're trying to figure out if we should put it in storage in a safe place until we have a place to hang it, or if we should attempt hanging it. But that's a task for another day.
I would agree. That's one of my favorite gifts too. And the other one's probably my hunting knife that my dad got me on our first deer hunt, because it was just like his and has the leather sheath that it goes in. And
you still have it, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've still got it. But yeah, that's one of the big ones for me.
Oh, I like it. If you were elected president, what would you do first? No.
We're not touching it.
We are in Breckenridge, Minnesota, far west. We're staying at a type of RV park that we've never stayed at before. This is going to be a little different. First, we need to find our site, and then we have something a little different to do to go pay for it.
I think we got tricked by another camper, so we backed in. The site looks good.
We're the only ones here.
We're the only ones here.
Which is great.
And I'm going, wait a minute. Power's over here, water's over here, sewer's over here. But I think someone just set this picnic table down in the actual site, and we backed up not in the
over
actual
there.
site.
So I think we're gonna have to.
I mean, this would work for the night. I mean,
who knows if anybody's even gonna be here?
so we've got, well, that isn't a site. So, so even if somebody else comes and goes in there, we're not blocking anybody. I mean, we got water in the tank because before we decided to do this, we were just gonna stay at a truck stop or something. We got water in the tank. It's a little warm. I'd kind of like to have air conditioning. So I'd have to run the power cord under. But
that's literally the only thing you need to hook up or unhook, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think
we have plenty of power. It's just
I think I've got enough power cord to go under the trailer and make it. I mean, I don't think we're definitely not hurting anything setting it up like this. What do you think? What are you gonna do? You gonna move it, or you want to leave it? We're leaving in the morning. We're not even gonna be here for 12, 14 hours max.
I say leave it. By the looks of how many RVs are not in the larger portion of the park, something tells me
I think we got the place to ourselves. It's pretty though. It's a nice place. And how much was it?
Wells Memorial Park. It's a city park here in Breckenridge, Minnesota. And you can book it online. You can look at the map. They actually do a pretty good job with it. You know, some of these city and government websites, it's sketchy, but the map is really good. You book it. The only thing I found weird was the payment portion. There is a way to pay online. There is a service charge to do that. It was erroring me out. It was a really weird roundabout way, and I finally just said no. So we're gonna get to that as soon as we get set up and go take care of that. So just a little different. 30 bucks flat.
That's never happened before. Usually our rig doesn't shake around too much, at least that we can know of by the evidence of what's going on. But yeah, you never know. You're gonna get surprises. Sometimes you open the door, I see a roll of toilet paper. I see a dog bone that somehow got left under the couch.
So the payment's a little different, but it really isn't a big deal. We are just a quarter mile down from the campground, and they gave me permission, since it is a Saturday evening, gave me permission to put it in the utilities box. I asked them if they had a drop box, and they did. I'd much rather do this than trust the mail. So that's done. We're paid up. The only thing that confuses me is that they also have a dump station that you can, if you're just passing through Breckenridge, Minnesota, you can dump there for 10 bucks. And it's a nice open area right where our campsite is. It would be a really good camp spot. The problem is, in order to pay for that, you have to pay at the city hall. And notice, we're in an alley. So if you're in a Class A or you're hooked up, like if you're just passing through, I can't see how that would be feasible unless you mail it in.
Or you could walk. I mean, it's probably not even a quarter of a mile down here.
Well, that's true.
We're here for the night, so we're gonna go down to Fergus Falls and check out a couple of things and see what's going on there and call it a night and hammer on into our destination in the morning.
Travel day 1 is in the books. Our first stop in Fergus Falls, Minnesota is here at the Fergus Falls Historic State Hospital. It opened its doors in 1890 as an early insane asylum, closed its doors in 2005. I didn't see that they did tours or anything.
Yeah, there's no signage or anything like that to indicate they do tours, but it looks like they keep the grounds up and stuff, so it makes sense they would do something. Looks like a great place to shoot a horror movie.
Maybe they at least do that to get some revenue.
The building itself is pretty cool to look at. I mean, the architecture's cool. It's kept up decently well. I mean, it could use a little work, but
I'd say both beautiful and creepy at the same time.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. This is Fergus Falls, Minnesota. It's in Ottertail County. This is Ottertail Creek, and this is Otto the otter here behind us. It was built in 1972 as a school project, and it's supposed to be the largest otter in the world. So we want to go get a closer look, but there's some lovebirds hanging out on top of it, and we don't want to disturb them. So we'll just have to look at it from afar.
That's all right. What kind of birds are these with the nests? I think Cody's about to fall asleep on me. We're gonna eat a bite, settle in for the night, and hit the road for travel day number 2.
Good morning, folks. Travel day number 2 here. We had a good night here in Breckenridge, Minnesota, and we are headed up to North Dakota today. We got about 250 miles to roll in about 4 more hours. This is kind of a nice travel morning because all I've got to do is roll up a power cord, check the tires, and of course air up my airbags. I haven't touched on this in a while, but we didn't get the Viair onboard air system with the truck. We didn't think it was necessary at the time, and our little MILWAUKEE inflator does great just to come right up here to the back bumper. I've been fiddling with this for about 2 years, and I think I found the perfect airbag air pressure for our setup, and that's 47, not to be confused with 50 or 45 or 46 or 48. It's 47 on the button, and the truck rides like a half ton with the trailer on the back of it. These things are awesome. They go right under the back seat. I've used this for about 1.5 years now, and it's been flawless. So I'm really, really happy with this, even though I do like the idea of onboard air. Anyway, enough about that. I think Angela's in there making us some breakfast enchiladas, and we're gonna hit the road.
Say you travel with dogs without saying you travel with dogs. There you go. You ready to go?
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow.
I swear when I look in my right-hand mirror, I can just see raw gas just rolling out of the tailpipe. It's been consistently windy since we left, and we just keep driving head straight into it. 5.9 mpgs since we left this morning, and we usually average about 8. You know, sometimes we see 9 if we get a tailwind, but yeah, we've ran 180 miles today and averaged 5.9. Ouch. The only good thing is we're not in Illinois anymore, so gas isn't $3.70 a gallon. It's a little cheaper out here, but whew, Big Blue's getting to work out.
Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this.
We can't figure out where we're supposed to go.
There's not an office. It's supposed to be a RV park and hotel, but from what we can see, we've circled the block a few times. There's no hotel. There's no office. We're at the right place because they had the little sign up that had the park, and she called trying to check in and, you know, hey, who do we need to see? Because we don't have a site number. We didn't prepay or anything. This is all over the phone. And there's not a lot going on here. So we've left a voicemail, and we're hoping somebody calls us back soon.
We're gonna pull back in. I wanna go see if I can harass someone outside their camper and see if I can get answers. And if not, we haven't paid anything. We're gonna figure something else out.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny the difference in the parks. This is why we get lazy with some of the campgrounds. There are cheaper options we could do, but a lot of times easier is just less stressful. These rookie-do things where you have to do these weird things, it just adds more stress than we're willing to do.
This is Colonial Lounge and Liquor Store is what this is.
Building?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's a pawn shop right there.
We're missing something.
We've driven this block 3 different times, and this is the address.
Where's the hotel and where's the lounge?
4431. This is the address right here. This is the address. We are at the spot.
I'm going in.
While Ange goes and tries to run down a stranger to see who we need to see about checking in here, she made a point earlier about we definitely understand why people, especially people with a lot bigger rigs than ours, take the easy road, the easy way. They go to Yogi Bears, they go to KOA, and we know the cost of everything is incredibly high right now. This is $39 a night. KOA right up the road, $66, and they have spots. So unless she tells me something really convincing, we're going to KOA.
He's like, did he tell you what site you were supposed to be on? And I said, I don't have anything, no information, and we need to pay and everything. He's like, phone is really the only option.
And they don't answer. I'm really not trying to be a jerk, and I know this is going to sound bougie. I don't have to stay at a fancy resort, but I kind of like to stay at nice places, and this really isn't a nice place. I see it being a very uncomfortable week. I see us not really being super comfortable, just sitting outside and enjoying ourselves.
The park doesn't bother me. I just expect people to answer the phone when I call them. If
I
I'm
mean,
going to give them money.
When you start the trip agitated because you checked into a place that isn't going to be a good place, it kind of sets a bad tone for the week. Not that I can't get over it or that I haven't or that I wouldn't, but I'm pretty irritated.
I feel like I'm pretty understanding because life.
Well,
but I do have an expectation of customer service. I'll do whatever. I don't care. I mean, I don't like bouncing on somebody when they have a reserved spot.
We called KOA. They answered on the first ring. They do have some spots open, and they said if we want to just swing down, we can just set it up when we get there. We're 15 minutes away, so you good with that? The world we live in today, customer service in many places is just a thing of the past, just a fond memory we all have. And that may be the way the world's going, but I'm not going to accept it. So we found a place that would answer the phone and wants to work with us and take our money, so we're going to go give them some. Well, now we're going another 16 miles up the road, and I've got 24 in the tank, so this is like 0 miles to empty all over again. We'll get there, but with the horrible fuel mileage we've got today, I almost put myself in a bind.
I'm a little concerned because this car was driving. Still is. One hand on her head,
Yep.
one hand on the phone.
In a construction
So
zone.
give her plenty of space. Well, the day didn't quite end like we expected, but we are excited to see what North Dakota brings. Staff here was really nice checking in. We have a nice site. Hey, I heard that North Dakota is so flat that you can see your dog run away for 3 weeks.
Who said that?
We got to see the northern lights last. We are in
1/4 mile. Turn right on Minnesota
GPS.
Avenue.
She knows. We're staying at a park. We're staying in an RV park. We're staying at a type of RV
Right
park.
at the stop sign.
But first we need to find our first stop in Fergus Falls, Minnesota Our first stop in Fergus Falls, Minnesota is to the Fergus Falls State Historic
Hospital.
Darling, you've got to keep